go for it. Go for it. Because I grew up in a very, very small town. My graduating class was only 16 people. So like super small in South Dakota. And a lot of times, like when you're in a small town like that, a small community, it's like everyone is just there and you stay there and you just kind of go with the flow, run through the motions.
It's the Health in the Real World podcast. It's time to start the show with Chris Janke as your host. Here to give you everything that you need when it comes to fitness strategies. We keep it simple and easy. It's your roadmap to get healthy. You don't need equipment and you don't need a gym. Just the right strategies to get you fit and trim.
The Health in the Real World podcast is sponsored by most exercises and workouts, whether they be running, biking, elliptical, rowing machine, traditional weightlifting, or even CrossFit, do not give you a balanced workout. And when you do workouts that neglect even one area, you're out of balance, resulting in pain and injury as well. Achieve your goals with the fitness program your chiropractor would love. Visit chrisjanke.com/pod to watch the free video.
Hello and welcome to Health in the Real World. I'm Chris Janke and I'm joined today with Jessica Harvey. Jessica's an online trainer, has some customization options available through her app. First of all, Jessica, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Chris.
Real quick, fill in any gaps that I missed about who you are, your biography, who you help.
So I am a certified kickoff personal trainer. So everything is going to be virtual through our app where we have custom workouts, meal plans, work on your sleep, as well as forming healthy habits. Awesome.
So Kickoff is the name of the app or the company, right? Okay, cool. So you mentioned you ask a series of questions through a survey, right? And then sort of your results are like, okay, you can give them eating advice, like nutrition, custom meal plan, sleep, water, all those different sort of checklists, right? Everyone knows what to do, but nobody necessarily knows that it needs to apply to them. Like I was saying, like there's so many YouTube videos out there that'll tell you exactly what to do, but the customization aspect is key because, how do you, it's like a recipe, right?
Yes.
Like, okay, I'll take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and I'll deliver it to my client. How did you get started with this, Jessica? Like, what's your original story as far as how you became a trainer?
Yeah, so it kind of goes all the way back to my high school days. I was a track star. I was a track star. I was really, really good at a young age, I know. And I loved it. Short distance only, long distance was horrible. But then I ended up hurting my ankle. Couldn't really figure out what was wrong. It would always swell up. It was very, very painful. The heat and humidity made it 10 times worse. And eventually I could no longer sprint anymore without it being super painful. Went to so many different doctors, orthopedic institutes. No one could really give me like an answer what was wrong. And so once I went off to college, I realized I wanted to study in kinesiology, exercise science, learn more about the body during exercise and fitness. And I did some internships. I graduated. I did work at an LA Fitness for a while. Wasn't working out for me and completely switched, started working with kids. I was like, okay, this is okay, I guess. 2020, boom, COVID struck.
Yep.
Could not work anymore. I'm sitting at home, kind of depressed like a lot of people were. And I'm like, okay, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing right now? I got up, I started my own wellness journey again because myself had gained some weight throughout the process as well as many people did. And so I started walking more. I started running more. I started getting in the gym again. And I was like, okay, I'm getting better myself. Now it's time for me to use that degree again. And it's time for me to help other people. And I'm like, okay, where do I start? Because the gym setting wasn't working for me. Just did some research, was like, all right, it's time to start something new. Kickoff. I was like, this is perfect. It's all virtual. I can also do live sessions where we'd be video chatting just like this. And I was like, you know what? this is going to be the perfect thing for me to continue to work on myself and show others, hey, I went through the same struggle that you did. Let me help you out with these custom workouts. Let's get on a call and we can talk about what your needs are. Because like we said before, everyone has different goals. Everyone's body is different. Everyone needs custom things for them to reach their goal.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. And I can really relate to your story too. You know, you were a high level athlete and then you got injured and then got a little bit out of shape and then worked yourself back into shape. I think that alone that's really valuable, because I think some clients, you know, if they see you and you're like really fit, you know, and let's just say they're not, or they never have been even, you know, it's easy for people to say, oh, well, it's easy for you, Jessica, you know, you've always been an athlete, right? But for you to go through that, you know, through the mud of being out of shape and then pulling yourself out of the mud and getting in shape again, that lends a lot of credibility. So that's really cool. Jessica, so actually speaking of that person who is maybe looking at you and saying like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. You know, you guys just met maybe at a party or some kind of outing. And they say, hey, you know, I'm not in as good a shape as I want to be. And I need some pointers. Like they're starting from ground zero. What do you tell that person from ground zero? Like 2 or 3 different strategies that'll get them up. What would you tell that person?
Right. So, like I tell a lot of my clients who are just getting started. So yeah, we do start from the very, very bottom. So even if they don't have access to a gym or they don't have any at-home weights or anything like that, I usually just tell them, let's just start with getting your body moving. Go for a walk. Go for a walk. Some people are like, well, I live in where I used to live. I live in South Dakota and it's really, really cold. And I'm like, all right, well, let's do this instead. You have an hour break for lunch. Get up, just walk in circles, even maybe just like do some high knees in place, do some squats in place, maybe some desk push-ups, just anything to get their body moving, as well as just standing up, because some people have those desk jobs and just sitting all day, every day. Just take some time every hour to just stand up, loosen up your body. Another thing, switching gears, watch what you're eating. I know that's always such a hard thing to do, but just cutting back. Some people drink a lot of coffee. Maybe they drink 3 cups a day. Hey, let's cut it back to 1 and see where we can go from there. So it's not going to be like cutting everything cold turkey and going and lifting 24/7, you know, just little bits of your lifestyle. Let's just start changing it until you're in the position where, hey, you can get a gym membership. You can buy some weights for home, and we can slowly start progressing to reach your goals.
Yeah, I really like that strategy. That's something that I incorporated a while back. I was a little bit out of shape myself and I wanted to join the fancy gym. It was very expensive, but it was expensive because it had everything. Like it had, you know, towel service. It had like lemon and cucumber water, and it had like cold eucalyptus towels that you could like put on your face. I mean, it was like, and had like a sauna and a steam room. And I was like, I want to join that gym. But I told myself like, okay, Chris, back up. You haven't even lifted weights in a while. So I made a deal with myself, and it sounded kind of like what you're talking about. Like I said, if you can work out every day for 1 month at home, then you can join the gym. Yes. And then, so I did that. And I think your advice is solid, because if you haven't done anything, you just need to do something. You don't even have to start a workout plan. You just have to start moving. Right. And I like that, even with the coffee, right? You're 3 cups a day, just go down to 1. And it's just baby steps, right? Baby steps all the way is key. Is that kind of what you did when you got yourself back in shape? What did that look like?
Yeah, exactly. So again, I was not working, my job closed. So for the first like few weeks or month, I was literally just laying in bed. I was binge watching Law and Order SVU like crazy. The best, but
good show, real good show. If you're gonna binge watch anything, that's what you got to binge watch. That's a good show.
My favorite. I loved it so much, and I was like, okay, this is terrible. And then summer. It was rolling into like spring, summer. So it was getting nice out too. And I was like, okay, it's time. So what I did start off with was just going for walks. I just started going for walks. Those walks kind of started turning into walk a little bit, run a little bit, walk a little bit, run a little bit, until I was able to actually just go for runs. And then I just decided to go down to my apartment complex gym and just start there. I bought some bands. So I kind of just started doing some like band work a little bit before I jumped right into the dumbbells, as well as eating. I love sweets so much, big sweet person. But what I did instead was I went and bought a bunch of like fruit or frozen fruit if you need to. And I made smoothies. I would get protein here or there, make protein smoothies or add peanut butter to it. Just like little things like that to kind of like kick my sweet tooth until I finally just got into the routine where I started my meal prepping a little bit better. I go to the gym 5 to 6 days a week, always have those recovery days, yoga days, stretch days. And then I got myself into that routine, because that's what it is you're not necessarily going on a diet. You're switching your routine and getting into that healthy lifestyle again.
Yeah. That's such a cool process that you went through. And I like, you just walked, and then you did a walk run, and then you did a run, and then you just switched out, your sweets for fruit. Like little things like that are huge. I'm sure you're drinking a ton more water because you're doing your smoothies, right? And little by little, and then you're just like, oh wow, I'm getting pretty healthy. This is cool, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
the progress pictures were
That's so cool.
Great, because I did take the pictures. So I always recommend people to do that, because I didn't notice it. I was like,
right.
I'm getting in there. And then I took some after pictures and I put them all side by side. And I was like, wow. I knew I like gained weight, but like seeing that, I was like, this is crazy that I used to look like that. And I didn't even really realize it until now that I see myself. And I'm like, this is crazy. And I just took some more progress pictures a few days ago, and I've been like toning up, and it's just so cool to see like myself growing. And that's where I tell my clients, and like, take those pictures. Like, I've been there, you guys. And it's such a great overall feeling to know that like the hard work does pay off. It pays off.
It pays off. Yeah, exactly. And that's a good point. Like progress pictures, because you're reminding yourself that it pays off, because, everyone kind of knows intellectually that, if you work out, you're going to, get into shape. But until you see it, you're like, wow, it really does work. And I don't know how long you were kind of out of shape, but I know when I was out of shape, it was for it was maybe a year. And so before that year, I was a high school athlete. After that year, I was in college, a little bit after college, and it was like me really focusing and working out. So there was this small little period. And I think during that little period, I just didn't look. I just did, I always identified with who I was in high school. Like, I'm an athlete, I'm a basketball and a football player, and just didn't really notice the 40 pounds that I had gained on my pizza and beer diet. So that's another story. So Jessica, I'm going to give you a chance to go really big picture here. This is my favorite question of the podcast. Let's say you're invited back to your university for graduation, and they want you to give the commencement speech. So you're talking to these 22-year-olds about to start their adult life. What would you tell these young adults as far as what your like how do you get the most out of life? Like, what's your philosophy on how to get the most out of life?
That's a great question. So honestly, looking back on what I did, I would really just say just like the little phrase, go for it. Go for it. Because I grew up in a very, very small town. My graduating class was only 16 people. So like super small in South Dakota. And a lot of times, like when you're in a small town like that, a small community, it's like everyone is just there and you stay there and you just kind of go with the flow, run through the motions. No, go for it. I would say go way out of your comfort zone and do something that you think you can't do. but then do it, because you're going to be able to do it. I left small town South Dakota, moved to Dallas, Texas, and I'm finally just like following those dreams, like the things that I didn't think I could do. And now I'm here doing it. So step out of your comfort zone and just go for it, because you don't know, and you won't know until you do it, right?
100%. That's awesome. I love it. Go for it. That's going to be the title of this episode. Big letters. Go for it.
Go for it.
With Jessica Harvey. Well, Jessica, thank you so much for joining me today on Health in the Real World. Oh, I want to give people a chance. How do they contact you? Like website, social media? What kinds of programs do you have coming up? Anything like that?
Yes. So again, everything is custom designed. So whatever you want, I can do that for you. So you can go directly to the link, which is going to be trainwithkickoff.com/coaches/Jessica Harvey. Or you can go directly to my email, send me a message. That's going to be jessica.hope.harvey@gmail.com. And we can link up that way and go forward with, setting up our calls so we can get those goals for you guys and get your wellness journey started.
Nice. Well, again, we're here with Jessica Harvey on Health in the Real World. Thank you so much for joining me today, Jessica.
Thank you so much, Chris. It was great chatting with you.
Thanks for listening to the Health in the Real World show. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below. Visit mycorebalance.com to learn more.